Hi, thank you for agreeing to be part of the Institutional Learning Outcomes team. Our meetings will start in mid-October and be finished by March 2013. Our work will be based on the academic plan, which was created by a task force and approved by our Board of Governors in June 2012. The Institutional Learning Outcomes is a significant piece of that academic plan. In fact, it has been identified as one of the top 3 priorities or key projects of the 2012-2013 academic year. But what are institutional learning outcomes, and why does it take a team to create them? Institutional learning outcomes are important to the college. They define what a student will be able to do upon graduation, and it takes all of us, support staff, faculty, administrators, IT staff, to make certain that our learning environment allows students to achieve each and every one of its institutional learning outcomes. We are not alone in this pursuit. Most European, Australian, and American post-secondary institutions have created institutional learning outcomes. I will be providing the team with samples of other organizations' learning outcomes that we can use as models and to guide us as we create the institutional learning outcomes for Mohawk College. Often people think of institutional learning outcomes as something only teaching faculty need to worry about. As they create programs and teach courses, they need to be mindful of learning outcomes. This is not the case. Student support workers must also be very mindful or knowledgeable of learning outcomes. And in fact, there is a Council for the Advancement of Standards in Higher Education, which helps support staff implement, monitor programs for students to help those students achieve their learning outcomes. And we'll be looking at the work of the CAS. Once an organization has created its learning outcomes, posted them, and informed all the constituents on them, it must begin to measure those learning outcomes. Does everything an organization does it help achieve the learning outcomes? And there is a National Institute for Learning Outcome Assessment, and we'll be looking at this organization. It will be very helpful to us as we begin to look at ways of measuring our learning outcomes and determining if we are delivering quality education, if we are giving our students what we say we will give them. We are being a bit of a pioneer in terms of a community college in Ontario. But we are not traveling this path without support. The Higher Education Quality Council of Ontario helps post-secondary institutions in creating learning outcomes, measuring them, and understanding how they can work in an organization. I'm trying to support this team as we get started by finding a collection of videos on YouTube, and I have found some, 6 to be exact, organize them into a playlist, and I'd like you to have a look at these 6 videos as you prepare for our first meeting on October the 24th. These videos will give you a sense of how each stakeholder, support staff, administrator, IT person, faculty, students, can benefit from institutional learning outcomes. As you prepare for our first meeting, it's important to keep in mind the focus of institutional learning outcomes, and that is the student. What skills, what abilities, what attitudes will our graduates have in the future? What abilities, skills, and attitudes do they need to be successful in their first workplace, as they move through their careers, and as they contribute to the communities around them? So, prepare for our first meeting next week by taking some time to look at the videos, taking time to skim some of the documents that I will be sending you in the days to come, and be prepared to devote 4 to 6 hours each month to reading about institutional learning outcomes, thinking about them, and consulting with colleagues about them so that we can create institutional learning outcomes that are meaningful